Okay, may I have your attention, please? Our program tonight is going to be something a little different than our normal fare. And about 3 or 4 months ago, a friend of mine that's in the Prattville, Alabama Dragoon camp, this fellow's Confederate ancestors buried in our cemetery, and I met him through that. Tyrone sends me the newsletter, the Prattville, the Dragoon Dispatch, and about 2 or 3 months ago, I was reading about a very interesting speaker and program they had, a fellow named Gary Carlisle, and Tyrone just raved about what a great program it was, and said the camp just really enjoyed it. And so I thought, well, we need a program like that. And so I talked to Tyrone and found out, by golly, that Gary Carlisle lived up this way. I was thinking Prattville's down, near Montgomery. And so I got in touch with Gary and found him living down here in the big town of Sylvania, Alabama. And he's going to give our program tonight. Gary is the 2nd Lieutenant Commander of the Alabama Division. And so let's welcome Gary Carlisle.
Thank you. I'm a retired school principal. I was in public education for 35 years. I told them when I left, I've been stamping identity for 35 years, and they said they helped a lot when I left. So, whatever that was. But anyways, I thought I'd do a little something strange here, and since you're the only lady, I want you to come up and help me, would you? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, both of you. Well, I ain't got but one. I tell you what. If you'll come up and help me, I'll give her a nice cup. Okay? All right, if you'll come up here and help me, if you don't want to, it's okay. This is pretty simple right here. Now, all this is just some crepe paper. All right, and red, blue, and white. Okay? I want to just fold this up right here. This is pretty simple. Just hold that right there if you would. Like I said, it's a little different. And if you can see, I got a little magic bag right here. It doesn't have anything in it.
Is Bunny Rabbit going to come out of there?
I hope not. If it does, it means you both probably gone. All right. I want you to think of some great words that we don't hear a whole lot. And every time they say a great word, you just tear a piece of it and throw it in there right there. For example, I'll say one, honor.
Okay, just tear a piece off.
Yeah, just tear a bunch of it. How about some
Truth.
more? What?
Truth.
Truth. Don't tear in big pieces. Let's hear some more.
Robert E. Lee.
Robert E. Lee. Let's hear some. How about family?
Okay.
How about faith? All right, y'all think of something. Keep her busy.
Integrity.
Sir?
Integrity.
Integrity.
Oh, wow.
Duty.
Duty.
I'm going to run out of paper here.
That's all right. Just keep going. What are some other great words that you hope that...
Courage.
Courage. Okay.
Well, I can't
Well, that's pretty hard, isn't it?
I think what's this line?
Now just wad it up and throw it in there. Just throw it out in there.
Oh.
So there's a lot of great things right there.
Oh.
Now, anybody in here hum Dixie? Anybody whistle Dixie? Can anybody whistle Dixie? Oh, I wished I was in the land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. Okay, it's amazing how honorable our forefathers were. Would you please get that paper out there, please? Just reach it in.
Oh, my goodness.
It's amazing.
Look at there. But you didn't earn it first.
That's true. Well, you wadded those papers up too. Hey.
Oh, that's cute.
No ladies and bikinis needs to be on that flag. Hank Williams Jr. don't need to be on that flag. That's an honorable flag.
Or
It's a Christian flag, and we need to honor it. Now, it's been misused some, we understand. So is the United States flag. So let's honor our flag. It's a great flag. Here's your flag for heaven. You can keep that very much. So I thought you might enjoy that. Uh-oh. I've had a request, but I'm going to sing anyways. I'm glad to see my cousin. His daddy and my mother, they were cousins, but they treated each other like brothers and sisters. And if you don't care, I'm going to stand in front again. Is that okay? I tell you what, I used to go sing at nursing homes. Well, one, there's in Scottsboro. Has anybody ever been to Scottsboro? And I'd go and sing and really enjoy it. I enjoy it more than they did. And there was an old man, about 80-year-old, by the name of Buddy, used to be there. And me and him kind of liked each other, and we talked some. And one day, it's been maybe 5 or 6 years since I've been. One day, it was on Tuesdays, and I went to sing. And I noticed Buddy wasn't there, so I sung a few songs. When I got through, I said, "How's Buddy?" And they said, "Well, he's not feeling good." Said he's still in his room. So I went to his room, and I sung a song, and got ready to leave. And I said, "Buddy, I hope you get better." And he raised up, and he says, "I hope you do too." Well, I hadn't been back. Hope old Buddy's doing okay, but I hadn't been back. Let me ask you a question, and you don't have to answer this. What race are you? Now, and there's no such thing as a Caucasian
How
race.
about you?
Most of us are Celtic.
I'm Scotch-Irish.
That's a Celtic right there. Most of us are Celtic. And somehow or another, we know that in our hearts and souls because we're all a lot alike. But we forget that sometimes, don't we? And so this is a Scottish song. Okay, all the songs I sing is being changed because I can't remember the words. And so I make them up sometimes as I go. But this is a Scottish song, and it's a strange song that you may think would be for me to be singing, but it means a lot to me. The tears have all been shed down. We said our last goodbye. His soul's been blessed. He's laid to rest, and it's now I feel alone. He was more than just a father, a teacher, my best friend. But he still can be heard in the songs we sing, as we sing him going along. And I never will forget him, for he helped make me what I am. Though he may be gone, memory linger on, and I miss him, the old man. As a boy, it'd take me walking over mountain, fields, and streams. Oh, and he'd show me things not known to kings. Just a secret between him and me. Like the color of the quail bird as he rises in the dawn, and how to fish, yeah, make a wish beside the old shade tree. And I never will forget him, for he helped make me what I am. Though he may be gone, and I miss them, my old man. I thought he would live forever. He seemed so big and so strong. But the moments fly and the years go by for a father and his son. Then suddenly, when it happened, there's so much left unsaid. second chance to tell him thanks for everything he'd done. But I never will forget him, for he helped make me what I am. Though he may be gone, memory linger on, and I miss him, my old man. Sure miss my dad, y'all. That's really the purpose of the SCV. So our kids will know, my kids and my grandkids will know my daddy through me. And I know my great-grandpa through my papa. He fought for the 43rd Georgia, the 30th Georgia, the 28th Georgia, the 3rd Alabama Confederates, Cavalry, and so forth and so on. That's really what the SCV is all about. They were honorable people. And so don't forget that. Now, how many people goes to church in here? Great. How many people sings in the choir? Well, good. We're going to have one right here. All right, now, you're going to have to help me sing right here. And we're going to sing a song you know. You help me on the chorus. Now, my friend, he's also my pastor. I brought him so he could help me sing the chorus. Will the circle be unbroken? Now, most of you don't know the real words to the verses. All right, we're fixing to find out. All right, here we go. All right, let's clear your throat. Let's go. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky, on the battlefields of old Dixie, standing up for our southern right. We lost so many of our fathers as they fought and they bled and they died. Okay, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Here we are, Lord, in this place, because of the sacrifice they made. Let us remember what they believe and be willing to stand up for their way. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Now this is really going out right here. But southern children, don't you mourn them. The day is coming when we shall see all our armies marching into heaven, led by Stonewall Jackson and by Robert E. Lee. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky, in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Thank y'all. Y'all did a good job. Thank you. Now, I've never been a professional speaker, still not, but are y'all professional audience? Well, good, and we're even Steve. Before I get started on my speech, I'm going to leave this for the commander. I hate speakers when they come and solicited funds, so I'm not going to do that. If you get a chance to read that, if you respond, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Got something right here. Got my speech. Like I said now, I've been in education. I still teach 2 periods a day, 2 hours a day at Christian school, but I'm retired from public education. And, in fact, I was an honor student when I was in school. Well, no, Your Honor. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I won't do it again, Your Honor. I was kind of like it, you know. I remember when I got to college. Anybody ever go to decorations? Y'all know what that is, yeah? I used to go with Papa up there at Barn Church. And we'd go, and I was in college. I thought I was pretty good, you know. I graduated from college in 2 terms. I believe it was Carter's and Nixon's. And, but it took a while. But anyways, I was with Papa, and over here's Uncle John. You know, he's a good guy. Never made a lot of money, but he paid his bills, and he was honest, and you could believe in what he said. I want you to look at his kids. One's in college, and one's got a chicken farm down there, and they're good folks. And over here's Brother Bill now. Uncle Bill wasn't too good. He'd bad drink a little too much. Gambled a little bit, and might have run around with his wife and nothing. But see now, his kids didn't turn out too good. You know, some of them's in jail, and this, that, and other. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing what we teach our people? It's important that we teach our people right. But anyways, we was at, about the last time I remember Papa being able to walk around the graveyard there. And he said, this is Gary. He introduced me to some of his friends. Said, he's in college. Well, the old man, knowing what they usually do, he looked at him and said, well, what's he going to be when he gets out? Papa said, well, let's see. We figure about 65. So, but I fooled him. I graduated in 2 terms. You see, I'm glad to be here. I'm so glad I'm so glad you called. Thank you very much, and I appreciate Tyrone. I gave him some extra money if he'd lie for me, I guess. No. Now, Tyrone, if anybody came to Montgomery during when Jefferson Davis, he was Jefferson Davis. That's who Tyrone he's talking about. And then we had the national convention. He was Jefferson Davis. If you remember, he came up. That's who we're talking about. Very good man. But you see, I live up on Sand Mountain, way back up there in the woods. Every direction we go is toward town. That's about as far back in the woods as you get. And I like I said, we had a good time, and I like living up there. So my country, you know, I used to hailing from the great geographic locations, high atop Sand Mountain. You know, when you did education, you had to speak like it. But I found that you had to be bilingual, so I'm just going to speak Southern English, you know, like Papa did. Because, you know, I found out you could believe in Papa. You couldn't believe in the people who spoke necessarily all that correct English sometimes. Much words comes much lies. That's in Proverbs somewhere. Okay, but you see where I live. You're not going to believe this, but I'm surrounded by ghosts. That's right. Here in our homeland, in my state and in this state, I suppose, our community, on our soil, here where our forefathers and mothers bled, and I'm going to have to give these glasses up, believe. I'm at a distance. Maybe I'll make it without mine. My cousin came, and I borrowed his glasses, and so I can't see either way. Isn't that bad? But here where our mothers bled and our fathers suffered by the invasion of terrorists. Now, you call it anything you want to, but it's terrorists. And if you read that right there, what that is, and this is not a solicitation, that's the story of how Sherman collected a family and women, mama and the girls, and sent them up north and worked in concentration camps. From right down the road right here. But we'll get to that other. You see, I see these ghosts. In the twilight, I can almost see the Confederate sentries huddled up, drooped eyes from boredom or fatigue. You know, in the faint of the summer echo, in my little cabin, I sit on the porch sometimes and I can hear a faint echo. Sergeant of the Guard, post number 4, all's well. You know, I can hear that. When I visit Shiloh, Stones River, Chickamauga, Tunnel Hill, Resaca, who's got the Resaca, Tallahassee, I see butternut-clad figures filter through the trees. I hear the rumble of wheels, cannons, wagons, and ambulances. I hear the rhythm of horses galloping and soldiers marching. I smell gunpowder, sweat, and the determination of an army. The armies are moving. They're moving to their positions. The fields are filled with ghosts. Standing on the ridge of Fredericksburg, moving along the flanks of Chancellorsville, picking through the wilderness, standing behind the breastwork at Spotsylvania, walking over the grounds at Vicksburg. Lost a lot of my kinfolks at Vicksburg. 43rd Georgia lost a lot of them right there. The Georgia Brigade lost a lot of them at Vicksburg. One is not alone. Look, and you can see a column of somewhat ragged, lean men marching with a determined look in their eye. Some have shoes. Just some of them have shoes. But they all have weapons. And in the midst of this column is a red banner, slashed diagonally with the blue cross of St. Andrews. Can you see it wave? They would march and they would fight, and many would die. That's my people. That's where I come from. I don't come from the high elite. I come from just plain folks. But you can believe in what they said. Them's my folks. They would fight and many would die. And that all for a new and rare, very rare concept that even today is considered politically incorrect. They call it freedom with duty and responsibility. Have you seen my ghost? Have you seen it? Yeah, I live surrounded by ghosts. Now, these are not phantoms. They don't have sheets and they don't rattle chains and they beat on doors. No, that's not my ghost. These ghosts are the knowledge, the truth that brave men and women were here, where I am and where you are. We're standing on their shoulders. Without them, we would not be here. Their deeds have an influence on who I am and on who you are and what our nation is and what it will become. Though they have long since returned to dust, their deeds live after them. I have learned a lot from my ghost. I have learned to be proud of my inheritance. My inheritance. I do not want to be like the people in Jeremiah 17:4. And this is what God said. Through your own fault, you will lose the inheritance I gave you. Through your own fault, you will lose the inheritance I gave you. Or as Esau. Now, I got my pastor here, and he tell you it's true. God hated Esau before he was born. That's in the Old and New Testament. Now, you know why? Look at his character. Look at his character. And later, all of Esau's inheritance were kept. In fact, he had such a poor character, he sold his inheritance for a bowl of soup. Is that not right? To his brother. Are today Southerners, are we selling our inheritance? Me, you, I, we must claim our birthright and pass the truth of our godly heritage on to our prosperity in our society. My ghosts are not confined. Now, we do a great disservice when we confine the Confederacy to 1861 of the South, 1861 to 1865. You do a great disservice. Our people started a long time before there was ever even America. We don't study Lex Rex. Has anybody ever heard of Lex Rex? Great document. It's not John Smith, Adam Smith, of The Wealth of Nations. How about Martin Luther in the 95 Theses? How about the Magna Carta? For years and years, these people grew and they was tired of big government, tired of all this stuff, and they began to come to America. And they formed America. No, they're not. Our people is just not confined to 1861 to 1865. My ghosts were here long before even the United States were. My ghosts made this country with the integrity, self-sacrifice, belief, and determination and hard work of a great people from before the founding of America. Now, I'm going to read something twice. It's a hard saying, so I might not say it right, but I'm going to try, and I want you to listen to it. My ghost, my people, Papa knew the good Lord allows disappointment to occur on the threshold of every human endeavor. In every human endeavor of life, it marks the transitions from dreaming aspirations to laborer's duty. If you want to have a good SCV camp, you're going to have to work at it. Guess who said that? God. When we got kicked out of the Garden of Eden, he said, by the sweat of your brow, you got it. Whatever you want, you got to earn by the sweat of your brow. He was in the Navy. You got to work at it. If you want a good marriage, you got to work at it. If you want a good school, you got to work at it. Good football teams, work at it. We got to work at it. If we want a great society, we got to what? Work at it.
Now that's one of the commandments God gives us. Yes, my ghost knew who the giants in America were. They knew about Bill Howard, Bob Howard. Who knows about Bill or Bob? Wait a minute. How many people have heard of Michael Jackson? Now, he died about the same time Bob Howard died. Y'all ain't heard of Bob Howard? Bob Howard is from Opelika, Alabama. You still ain't heard from him. He was about 70, 60-something when he died.
Must not be worldly.
He was a colonel in the United States Army. He's the most highly decorated modern soldier in modern times. He was up for 3 Congressional Medal of Honors. Now, you can only get one, but he could have 3 different, he could have picked it at 3 different places. Not heard of him. He went in, and one day, I believe he got 7 Purple Hearts. He went in and got his men, and got his men, and got his men. You ought to read his story. Today's new media, which one did they cover? Which one do you want your son to be like? Trustworthy. You know all those words that we call? That flag? That's what we want our people to be like. We got to tell them. You know, it's our job to tell them. Now, a news media's not going to tell them. So, check it. Sometimes it's Bill, sometimes it's Bob. Go on the internet, type in Medal of Honor winner Bob Howard. Read about it. Man, he's great. He's from Opelika. I hope he's not an Auburn fan. I don't know. I'm just kidding about that. Our people made this country. From mountain after mountain, dream after dream, they cleared the land. Now, my papa wouldn't say cleared the land. He'd say cleared the land. You know, he climbed trees. He dive in water. Y'all have heard of that before? They dug out the stumps. They plowed the new ground. Papa King, when he was a young boy, he's dead now, he talked about plowing new ground was tough, because when you plowed new ground with mules, them old roots would come back and said, knock your shins off. Papa King was bad to cuss a little bit, and he'd let me know about it. But he said it was rough. They fought the stumps. They fought the enemies who came to kill and destroy their way of life. They endured whole generations of poverty with nothing to hand down to their children but their belief in the good Lord, their work ethic, their pride, and their family Bible. They knew the certain dread of having nowhere to turn when the cold wind howled against their door or when an unidentifiable fever raged up inside their child. They had nowhere to turn except their trust in the sovereign plan of the good Lord. And you know what? They built an economic system that was the envy of the whole world. Yeah, that's hard to believe that the South was the richest place in the world before 1861. This was done without government help, intervention. It was done without a stimulus package. You see, by 1860 and before, the South was the most prosperous area to start a business, to start a family, and to start out to live. In fact, the average Southerner had 1.5 something richer than the average Northerner. The South was, what was the richest state in the Union in 1860? Huh? Mississippi. Mississippi. Here you go. I'm supposed to stay behind here, so I'll let you come up and pick it. Mississippi. Read what that says, what Robert E. Lee said.
I don't have my glasses.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Gain knowledge and virtue, and learn your duty to God and to your neighbor. This is a great object of life, Robert E. Lee.
Boy, our kids need to hear that, don't they? I need to hear that. All right, who was the, now I ain't got any more gifts. I do, I got a few more. What was the second state? Louisiana. And then Georgia was up there, and Alabama was up there. What about that? In fact, Alabama, and I'm sorry, I have to talk a lot about Alabama, but that's where I'm from. You know, not many of our folks fought for the Confederacy. They fought for their state. Did you know that? Georgia people fought for Georgia. Alabama fought for Alabama because each state was a nation really in itself. I asked somebody the other day, do you think Georgia would be better off in the Union or out of the Union? They said they thought, well, it ought to be in the Union. I said, you mean you think Russia ought to go take them back over? I said, oh. I said, they both got took over by gunpoint, didn't they? Okay, well, we get off. That's another story for another day. But the South was the most prosperous area. It's hard for us to believe that, isn't it? In 1819, the South, Alabama became a state. The White House that Tyrone Crowley stood on reenacting Jefferson Davis is the same Wright House it was in 1860. In one generation, that group of men built the University of Alabama, University of Georgia, Jacksonville State, many other universities, the Capitol building at Montgomery and so forth. I bet you the same thing can be said of Tennessee or Georgia. One generation is all it took. I don't know if we built that much since then. Yes, the South was the class of the United States and was built upon biblical principles and governed by Christian value. And as soon as I say that, everybody says, oh, you're talking about going to church. Yeah, I probably am. But that ain't what I'm really talking about. Let me tell you what Christian values I'm talking about. Other night I was sitting there, I was in Montgomery, and I got in from one of the meetings, and I was sitting there watching this poor woman, and I'm not being critical of her, and she was sitting there and she said, oh, if I do away with lower Social Security, I have to go back to the projects. I say it ain't. Where's her kid? Where's her boys? Because the Bible says if you don't take care of your immediate family, you're worse than an unbeliever. Where are they at? That's biblical principles, taking care of mom and pop, taking care of grandma and grand. I'm going to have that. I hope my grandkids learn that here for too long. Somebody's got to take care of my wife. No, I'm just kidding. All right, listen to what that 2 Thessalonians 3-8 says. Nor did we eat anyone's food without paying for it. On the contrary, we worked night and day, laboring and toiling, so that we would not be a burden on any of you. And if a man will not work, he shall not eat. That's Christian value right there. Oh, they don't talk like that too much. You know, we hear preachers, Paris does some. Talk like it. It's important that you stand on your own 2 feet and that you have responsibility. And you do and I believe you're the one that said it, you may not have. And one of those big words that we heard was duty. Duty. Do your duty. All right. But our founding fathers thought it was so worthy that they pledged their word, their fortune, and their sacred honor upon it. Oh, I know. We're going to yell, slavery, slavery, slavery. We hear it all the time, don't we? Well, let me tell you about what my ghost says. My ghost said that our forefathers, my ghost, took a people who were enslaved by their own people, bought by northern traders, and carried all around the world and sold for profit. My ghost took these slaves from the jungle and from slave ships and taught them a language, a code of ethics, working skills, and a standard of living they never knew, and a standard that Africa does not know today. My ghost did that, and I ain't ashamed of it. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not for slavery or anything like that. But I'm just saying, in days gone by, it's awful easy for us to put our morality on it. And let me tell you this, Abraham Lincoln, General Grant, General Sherman, and they all said they didn't want any blacks, they didn't use that nice of a word, or Jews around them. In fact, the only national military Jewish cemetery outside of Israel, do you know where it's at? Hear, oh, hear ye, sons and daughters of Abraham. It's in Hollywood Cemetery in Virginia that fought for the Confederacy. We fought for the Confederacy. Without the Jewish population, the University of Alabama, you probably never would have heard from. We accepted a lot of folks. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing? My ghost asked me, why do we don't teach our children and their children the contribution of Southern people? On our soil, Jamestown, the first permanent colony, which rescued, you better listen to this, and it ain't taught public school, which rescued Plymouth, Massachusetts, about 7 times from starvation and from massacre. On our soil at the Barclay Plantation was the first Thanksgiving, and as always has been since before the United States formed. Why do we teach our kids to dress up like pilgrims and Indians? Or dress up like Southerners? That's who had the first Thanksgiving on the grassy banks of Barclay Plantation. But our schools talk about the ships that brought the pilgrims. What ship brought the pilgrims? Mayflower. I've heard people say, boy, I had people come over to Mayflower. Well, I did, and I'm glad of it. Who brought our people? What ships brought our people? You ever heard of the Godspeed? Susan's Constant? There's a few of them. Why do we not hear about Christian values taught and lived? Why are we not taught about the acceptance of our people for other people? Who did the Hispanics fight for during the Confederate Army? Oh, excuse me, I'm during the war between the states. That's right, the Confederate Army. Did you know that 250,000 slave owners fought for the South? 315,000 fought for the North, slave owners. Did you know that? Oh, I thought it was about slavery. It might have been, I don't know. But, you know, it's not. Who did the Jews fight for? That's right, they fought for the South hard. Benjamin, Judas Benjamin, man, you ought to read about him. He was a great one. Okay, how about, have you ever heard of the Tea Party? The Southern ones or just one? Oh, y'all never heard about the ones in North Carolina? Oh, I thought they only just happened up north. No. How about the Daughters of Liberty? Let me ask you this, our acceptance of other people. What was Pocahontas' Christian name? That's right. She didn't go to Pocahontas a whole lot. My great-great-grandfather, Powhatan Carlisle, fought for the 43rd Georgia. Who knows who Powhatan was? That's Pocahontas' daddy. It was a pretty common name back in then. Okay, today we hear about the first shot heard around the world. Where was that at? Lexington, Massachusetts. And you got to be proud of them because 19 brave Americans, they stood right there and 19 of them fought the British. But 18 years before that, 18 months before that, a year and a half before that, 100 brave Americans stood at Amelanche, North Carolina and kicked the British's caboose. That's right. And Lee, mine and your great-great-great, about sixth great-granddaddy, Captain John Messer, got captured and hung by the British. They were the regulators. So the first shot heard around the world may not have really been from Massachusetts. It might have been from North Carolina, and I believe North Carolina is a southern state. What about that? Okay, the first public schools was in the South. The first free elections was in the South. The first schools for boys and girls was in the South. Oh, I thought we was backward. No, we never have been backward. We've just been taught that we were. The South was developing. Into what the founding fathers had in mind. The South was becoming what the United States was supposed to be. On our soil, this is what education was about. It was based upon stewardship and duty. Read what Thomas Jefferson wrote about schools in the academies. Not on humanism and profit. On our soil, a citizen was taught, and I still believe this today with all my heart, because Papa and my daddy taught it to me. A citizen, I believe, imbued with Christian values and adequate education skills can govern their own affairs and need little influence from the government. I believe I can spend my own money and I don't need the government to tell me. Now, that's just what I believe. Now, there might be other people different. With this type of education, a Southerner wrote the Declaration of Independence. With this type of education, a Southerner wrote the Constitution. No wonder we don't go by it. The South is the one that wrote it. What kind of music do you like to listen to? When I was coming up here, I learned it. 97.3. We might be, if you've done something, you might be one of us. Have you ever heard that? You know what I was thinking? I remember when I was a kid coming to Chattanooga to see Uncle Hubert and Berthy. I was coming up. We used to have to come up through 11, Trenton, Georgia. Did you ever stop by that little petting zoo right in there? Now, if Daddy was there, I might not get to. Boy, I could cry and Papa would stop there. We'd go see them rattlesnakes and bears and coons and everything. They tried to keep me one time, but anyways, that was a great place right there. So if you went through Trenton to that petting zoo, you were one of us. Because I used to love to go right there. In fact, we had a pet raccoon, and it was a good one, but he'd get in the cabinets, and Mother and Mama kept getting on us about it, so we gave it to that place right there. Old Rocky, that was a good one. But anyways, what did the Yankees write during that time? You write it. They didn't write nothing we want to talk about. All right. It has been said that the forming of the United States, it was the yoking together of two jarring nations. Now, I'm fixing to tell you some things here that's going to surprise you. Maybe I already have. I hope I have. That's a good word, hope, ain't it? That's a good word. Anybody ever got their groceries in a poke? I never will forget. I used to go, Papa King, had to go up north and work. You know, that's where they had to get jobs. Up Cleveland, Ohio, we'd go up there. I'd walk in the store and said, I wanted a Coke. And they'd hand me a Coke. I said, I don't want that kind. I said, you said a Coke. But up there they say, what is it, pop? We called everything a Coke. Yeah, soda poppers, or soda, yeah. But when you said a Coke down here, they said, what kind? You know, hey, don't go up there and try to order sweet tea. It's awful. Okay. I'm telling you, it's awful. But it says, the forming of the United States and secession, it was the yoking of two jarring nations, having different interests, which was repeatedly brought to the breaking point by selfish, unconstitutional acts of the North. The breaking point nearly reached in 1786 when the North, you have to dig in it, but you can find it, it's in the Congress, tried to give away the Mississippi River for spite. Did you know that? Ooh. It almost happened again in 1790 when the North, by congressional act, forced the South to pay the revolutionary debt of the North. In 1801, the North really tried to take over the nation and declare Aaron Burr the president. In 1812, that was the War with England. Now, we call it the War of 1812 in school, but if you go back in history, it's called the War with England. Did you know the New England states would not furnish one troop to fight in that war? Instead, they traded with England because they could make money. We had to fight them. And during 1814, they decided we shouldn't have bought the Louisiana Purchase. England's got mad because we bought the Louisiana Purchase, and who knows who we bought it from? That's right, Napoleon. And England said, you can't buy that from Napoleon. It's not theirs. It's Spain's, and Spain's giving it to us as a war debt. That's why the Battle of New Orleans was fought. We've always heard it was an unnecessary battle. The war is over and all that. Yeah, that's what they want us to think, but it ain't the way it really was. Because at the Harvard Convention, the New England states had voted to secede from the United States and join up with England just as soon as England went down there to New Orleans and whooped the old Southern boys. Well, we got news for it. We had an old boy from Tennessee named Andy Jackson. He took a bunch of old Southern boys down there, black, Hispanic, and a lot of Southern folks, and he whooped the greatest army in the world. He whooped the British. Boy, here comes Wade Hampton's great-granddaddy. Rode all the way to Washington and said, y'all ain't going to believe it, boys. We whooped them, we whooped them. The delegates from the Harvard Convention was in Washington fixed to announce succession, and they looked at each other and said, we ain't succeeding now. We'd look stupid. That's how close we came for succession from the North. You won't read that in history books, but it's there. All right. Let's see. In 1828 and 1832, when those people passed upon the South the protective tariff that went from 20% to 47%. Now remember, the South had 30% of the population in 1860 and paid 80% of the taxes. What did the taxes build? Area Canal, the railroads. No wonder the North had it so good. We was paying all pretty good. And the South said, hey, we want some factories. We're going to start spending some money. The North said, no, you can't do that. Oh, yeah, we can. And so when they passed that tariff, the breaking point came, called the MORRILL, MORR tax. The South, the Confederate States, became the hope of the working class of the world. So don't limit it to 1861 to 1865. These ghosts heard here on our soil was some of the fiercest battle in the Revolutionary War. What North or South did Cornwallis surrender to the United States? Oh, you mean on our soil the United States was formed? Not up north. You know what George Washington said, don't you? He said, I can't understand these northern boys. He said, you have to pay them to fight. Them southern boys, they'll fight. Where did we win the war? You ever heard of Kings Mountain? Cowpens? Yeah, we whooped the dog out of it. Now, we took some lickings, but we did all right. They surrendered on our soil. On our soil, freedom was born and won. The United States was started. Almost all that is good and decent American came from the South. On our soil, the southern states congregated together in linked defense of the most sacred cause, the battles They battled and they bled on our soil. Now our soil is consecrated with blood, which cries for justice against insensitive foes of Christianity, of humanity, and of the family. Every crime which could be characterized by the course of demons is marked by the course of the Yankee invaders from Abraham Lincoln, from the burning of defenseless towns to the stealing of spoons, forks, quilts, to the starvation of the elderly and the young, and most of all, the imposing of humanistic values upon our children. My great-great-grandma Parker's house was burned when Sherman went through Atlanta. And they rode through a garden. And she had to live out in the winter woods. They thought she was going to die. They wrapped her up in a hay, some kind of straw, and she lived through it. 10 years later, she died, and we found her diary. I have a copy of the diary, the page. I do not have the diary. She said hell was made for people like Sherman. Now, don't tell me how nice he was. With such noble women of the South, while such noble women of the South worked their fields and their businesses of home, while our heroic Southern soldiers fought in the battles of the Revolutionary War, war with England, Indian wars, and there's a bunch of them, wars against Yankee invasion, war after war, and even today, our people protect our soul. My ghost has proven their character. Who was the number one decorated soldier in World War I? From what state? I believe that's a southern state. How about World War II? What state was that? I believe that's a southern state, ain't it? Yeah, we proved we're tough. And I guarantee when the going gets tough, the southern boys are still there. Even during Reconstruction, when the worst crime of anything was being a southerner, our people survived. They claimed their inheritance. From our soil, my ghosts come and remind us all, we are truly from the most noble bloodline in the world. Don't take a back seat to nobody. We're no better. By George, we ain't no worse. And will you sell your inheritance? Will you claim your inheritance? It takes a lot of hard work. That's what the good Lord said. Anything worth. If you're going to be a Christian, you have to work at it. You have to turn the TV off and read the Bible every now and then. You may have to take a pie to your next door neighbor. Robert E. Lee's words are true today as they were back then. Our country demands all of our strength, all of our energy. To resist the powerful combination now forming against us will require every man at his place. If victorious, we have everything to live for in the future. If defeated, we have little to live for. God bless the South. Thank you very much.